Satnam, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about yoga, the definition of yoga, Kundalini Yoga, the benefits of it. So you have a better idea of what it is, and maybe you would like to try it by yourself. So actually, yoga the word yoga comes from a Sanskrit word, yug or yoke, which means bringing together, communion, merging. So actually, it is the bringing together, the union and communion of your body, your mind, and your spirit. But also is the bringing together, the merging of the individual consciousness with the collective consciousness. Is actually when you realize that we are one, and that we are one with the universe, and we are one with the source. So this is like the definition of the word. Actually, yoga exists since 2000 or more years ago. There was this sage called Patanjali, and he brought up and he wrote this system, this technology. Yoga is a technology, a science, a system. When you speak about yoga, or when you ask people what is yoga, they will always speak about the physical part. Yeah, yoga is bending your body into impossible postures, and it seems quite difficult and challenging, but actually the reality is far from that, because the physical part is just a very little part, very important part, but it's a little part of the whole system. It's just a part of a whole system. So Patanjali, as I was telling you before, this Indian sage, he divided, or he wrote, he spoke, he taught about the 8 limbs in yoga, 8 stages, 8 steps you should have. Actually, you have 7 stages or steps, and then you reach the final one, which is samadhi, the enlightenment, the merging fully with the source. So these stages, asana is one of these. That's the physical part, the postures, the ones you see in a yoga mat and in a yoga studio. But you also have the yamas and the niyamas, which are like the commandments, constraints, observances that you have to have. Actually, they are like commandments, ways of acting towards yourself and towards the society. Those are the yamas and the niyamas. Then you have a whole science of breathing. So breathing is a very, very important part of yoga. Actually, when you are not breathing, you die, right? So that's how so important breathing is, and is a whole complete and fully science into the yoga, is the pranayama, the science of breathing. And then you have also pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses, which is actually a previous step before concentration. And then you have meditation, and then you have samadhi. You reach samadhi. So actually, the physical part is just a part, but there are 8 very important parts in the whole system of yoga. So I gave you until now a very theoretical definition of what is yoga, but you should also know that yoga is a whole lifestyle, is a philosophy, is a way of seeing life, is a way of acting in a very proactive and very conscious way. When you start to practice yoga, you get lots of awareness. You really get to observe your decisions. You become very mindful about what you say, about how you feel, about how you act towards others, towards Mother Earth. So you become aware and conscious. That is the main benefit and the main difference you will start seeing and feeling with yoga. But you have lots of benefits as well. Physical, you have like everything. There is nothing that could go wrong. Of course, when you practice yoga with a teacher, with experienced person who has the knowledge, because to get into the practices, you really have to be guided. So be sure that when you practice yoga, you go to with a teacher that has a certification, that has studied, because this is a science, you know. And so you have physical effects. For example, your heart will benefit from it, your breathing and your lungs will benefit. You will start a whole detox process when you start doing yoga. So there is a flushing of toxins away of your body. Even your skin gets better because of this detox. Your weight will come to a normal weight, not only because of the physical exercises, but also because you get much more aware of what you eat. So maybe you might need less sugar or less coffee or less alcohol, because you will get much more aware of your choices. So there are a lot of physical benefits from yoga, and also in a mental part you will have a huge reduction of stress, anxiety, fear. It works directly into your nervous system, so you will feel more at peace, calm, and it will give you also a great sense of confidence. You will feel more empowered, secure, self-secure. So it's going to work in lots of ways, you know, physical, mental, psychological. Even if you are looking for a spiritual connection, if you are looking for a spiritual practice, yoga can also offer you a beautiful experience, because it's going to help you to look within yourself and to drop your ego, and it's going to really give you the tools, an opportunity to connect with your higher self and with a higher consciousness, and you become aware of the part that you are playing in the universe, and so you become one. And so it's a beautiful experience and a beautiful spiritual practice. So going into more specific into what is Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga is one of the kinds of yoga that you find. There are many types of yoga. You have Hatha Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Raya Yoga, Laya Yoga. You have lots of yogas, and then you have Kundalini Yoga as well. And Kundalini Yoga is designed and is taught actually as a very complete system to awake the Kundalini energy. The Kundalini energy, Kundalini means the coiled serpent, is like a dormant energy that we all have at the base of our spine. And there is this dormant energy, and when you practice Kundalini Yoga, you might be able to awake this energy, this dormant serpent that is there, and it's going to raise up towards your spine. And there is a great channel of energy, and it will help you to awake this Kundalini energy, and it will merge you into divine consciousness. This technology was, let's say, taught and only given to a very elitist group, to a very small group of people, very high castes in India. And there was one person called Yogi, his name was Yogi Bhajan, and this he was a teacher, he was a spiritual, very spiritual man who decided to bring this technology to the household person, to a normal person. He said this has to be given to humanity, and not only, it doesn't have to be kept for a small group of people. So he decided to open these teachings and give these teachings away, and that's how he came to United States, to the Western world. He started this huge movement in the 60s with Kundalini Yoga, and that's how this movement came to the West world. And he helped thousands of people, and now we are all, let's say, teaching what he taught then. And so, as I said before, there are many different kinds of yoga, and I'm not going to tell you which is best or worst. This is something that everyone has to test. You have to, if you want a more physical practice, you can maybe try Ashtanga yoga. If you want a very meditative practice, you can have Praya yoga. But actually, Kundalini yoga has you can differentiate Kundalini yoga from the other types of yoga because it has, like, from all of them, you find everything in Kundalini yoga. So the main differences of Kundalini yoga that I personally find, well, there are some obvious differences, like the yoga teacher will be dressed in white clothes most of the time and will have a turban, so we covered our heads. It has to do with the energy, having the energy contained in our bodies. But we also tune in with a mantra which is called the Adi mantra, and we tune in with the teachings and a whole group of gurus and masters who were before, and who have the teachings. So this is a beautiful way that we practice in Kundalini yoga, and I haven't seen other tradition that have, yes, you might maybe have some yoga classes, hatha yoga classes, where you chant the mantra Om, but the whole concept of having the teachings given through a golden chain that is coming to the teacher, so it can teach a beautiful class, that's a beautiful concept, and that you have in Kundalini yoga. Other differences as well, you have mantra, you have the meditation, you have the physical part, you have a very devotional part. So Kundalini yoga is very devotional, and as I said, it has this lineage ingredient that makes it very mystical, and at the same time very down to earth and very practical. And also a very important difference that you have with Kundalini yoga is that we as teachers, we cannot add things like, let's say, for example, I want to have this posture longer because I feel like people need to be longer in this posture. We don't go by the intuition. We have to really follow the teachings as given by Yogi Bhajan. So we really have, you always, when you go to a yoga class, a Kundalini yoga class, you will see that the teacher has notes or a book, because we follow step by step, because all the Kriyas, which is the name of the sequences of postures, they are specifically designed with specific times, with specific order, and we don't go out of it. In Hatha Yoga, you have Hatha Yoga for COVID, or Hatha Yoga for happy people, or Hatha Yoga for rainy days, or you just make up your topics and your classes, and that, I'm not saying that's wrong, I'm just saying that's different. That everybody has, all the yoga teachers have the, let's say, opportunity to create their own sequences. In Kundalini Yoga, you follow the teachings as given by Yogi Bhajan. So I think I have covered most of the topics. I told you about what is yoga, the benefits, what is Kundalini Yoga, how is Kundalini Yoga, different from other traditions or other types of yoga. And if you want to know more, if you have any doubt, if you have any question, please let me know, send me an email, and I'll be very, very happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much. And I will say goodbye as we close a yoga class, and that is by saying Sat Nam. Thank you.